Thank you, Betsy. Okay, so high performance questions. Um, we need to be asking ourselves these questions like sometimes daily, honestly, if we're being real for me, daily. But setting an alarm potentially to ask yourself these questions at least once a week to keep ourselves moving the direction that we want to go. So I want to talk about dreaming tonight, but I also want to start with these high performance questions. So the question number one is, what does my ideal self do that I'm not currently doing? And I would love for you just to brainstorm for a second, because part of asking ourselves these questions is going to lead into the vision casting ChatGPT thing we're going to do here in a minute. What does my ideal self do that I'm not currently doing? What does four-star diamond Sunny do? What does she look like? What are her habits? What what am I doing that I'm not currently doing? The next one is, where am I making life more difficult than it needs to be, physically and mentally? Like, what are we doing that is making life more difficult than it needs to be? Are there things that we can streamline? Are there ways that we can um, limit our time with certain people or things or places in order to make life less difficult? I mean, life's always going to be hard and difficult, but what can we cut out physically or mentally to make life less difficult? So, along those same lines, question number three is, where can I systemize, automate, or simplify my life this week? One that I've done recently is I paid for Walmart Plus because they will deliver my groceries for free. And anytime I think of something that I need, I will pop it on my list. And when there's enough things in my cart, I will have them bring it to my house. They give me a couple hour windows. So it's systemized, it's automated. When I sit down to do a recipe, I can go on there and search for exactly what I'm looking for. And it's made my life more simple. I have my ADHD brain gets lost, and just being able to immediately put it on my list as soon as I need it and knowing that I can get it within the next couple hours is really great for my brain. So that's one way that I have systemized or automated, I guess, my life. Um, some people, it's getting into a schedule that works for you. For me, I'm a do all of my laundry on one day girl. And I know that makes some of you guys cringe, but if I don't do it all in one day and get it put away, I will be doing laundry every day of my life. And I just don't want to spend my life like that. So that's a way for me to simplify my life, is do it all in one day. Okay, next question. Where am I shrinking or backing down where I could be stepping up this week? This was a big question for me. Where am I shrinking or backing down where I could be stepping up this week? And the last question, who can I help or surprise with love and appreciation this week? That one's fun. My little two yellow heart loves this one. This is fun. Who can I help or surprise? All of these things add to our energy. She talked a lot about adding to our energy and moving away from things that put out our flame, right? That take energy from us, and trying to systemize or even move away from things that are stealing our energy. Um, Being around people who are light givers and light our fires instead of tamping them down or just like sustaining. And then she also talked a lot about that we're looking for result producing activities in our lives. And those are actually only about 10% of what we do. So a lot of us are spinning our wheels in our business. We like, I've worked all day long, but I may not be doing the 10% of things that actually bring us results. So we need to work intentionally about getting that 10% in so that we don't get overwhelmed and just work ourselves to death, right? We want to do more of that 10% to get more results so that we're not exhausting ourselves. So she suggested that these are the 5 questions that we ask ourselves. Do anybody have any thoughts or aha moments that they wanted to share or anything from that?
My list of what does my ideal self do that I'm not currently doing is quite lengthy. I think I had like 15 things that I wanted to be doing. And I was talking to Rebecca on the follow-up call and told her like my list is quite long. And they suggested on the call picking 2 things you can do for your business, 2 things you can do physically, 2 things you can do spiritually for yourself. And starting there, not trying to tackle the whole list. But she also mentioned like a lot of times when we do a few of these things, it's like the phrase, I'm so bad with phrases. Something about the tide rising all the ships. And she's like, when you start to do some of them, just naturally, sometimes others fall into place as well. And so I thought that was really good advice because my list can look really overwhelming because I feel already like I struggle so much with time management. But also a lot of it for me was just like mindfulness of just being intentional about starting small and doing something about those. Also, I hired a VA today, which I'm excited about because I know that's something I've been needing to do for years and can finally take off my plate things that are important, but not the needle movers in my business. And now I don't have to worry about those because I always felt like my to-do list of those things was so long and never ending. And now I'm like, okay, today I can focus on follow-up. I can focus on these other things. And so, like you said, like it's the 10% that actually moves the needle. And I hate to just let that stuff go to the wayside, but those aren't the things that are going to help me get people started on their products and recruiting and helping teammates. And so I'm excited about that. Really excited about that.
I love it. Who else? One of mine was the shrinking back or where I could be stepping up. And also she had us do a whole list of things like my ideal self would be doing more speaking and training and coaching because it lights me. It lights me up. I enjoy doing it. And here I am. I'm doing something that was on my list or something that I'm normally shrinking back on and just being like, well, I don't know, and overthinking it, right? But here we are. And I even pulled a Lauren Gary and made a presentation in my brand colors. So, I mean, wow. I mean, wow.
I was going to say,
Okay.
it looks very good.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about this one. Okay. And there's a few ways that we can do it. But I recommend writing and answering these questions I'm about to ask you either in the notes section where you can copy and paste it easily into ChatGPT or just write this down in ChatGPT. So start with tell me a story of a day in the life as my future self based on this description. Okay, and then we're going to fill in this description, right? So we're asking ChatGPT to basically meet our future selves, like who we're going to be. And this is a time, does everybody have that quote down or a picture of it? Tell me a story of a day in the life as my future self based on this description. So I have several questions. This may take us a while. There may be some awkward silence, but I really want you guys to like implement this right now because if you're anything like me, you're like, oh, that sounds great. I'll do that later. when I have more time to think about it, right? And then you just never do, because I know this because I am this. Okay, so I'm actually going to redo it with you because I did it the first time, absolutely loved it. Went to go, and then I realized I wasn't logged in because I was on my computer. And so then when I went and logged in, it lost it because it went to my account that it was on, and then I couldn't go back, and it wasn't in my saves on the left side. It wasn't anywhere. So I'm going to redo it with you. So if I'll be in silence also. So you could write it directly into um, write it directly into ChatGPT, or you can write it in the notes on your phone and then copy and paste it. Whatever works for you, but I recommend not writing it down on paper because then you're going to have to just type it somewhere in just a minute. Okay, so
Wait, go ahead and put that in ChatGPT. Tell me a story of a day in the life. Okay.
yes, and then directly under it, we're going to answer some questions, because when somebody tells me, yeah, like dream and think big and what are your goals, I'm like, So I just went into ChatGPT and I was like, help me answer this question. Give me categories to help answer this question. And they gave me these questions. So here we go. Are you guys ready? The first category is, so we're gonna write that prompt, and then we're gonna break it down. So start with, who are you? Like for me, I am a mom of two girls. I work in health and wellness, whatever. Okay, write that, and then write this and all your future goals and desires. I want you to dream big, everything you'd like to do, who you would like to be. This is the time for you to let your imagination flow. Okay, so this is like dream board stuff. Like it doesn't even have to seem realistic. Okay, that's sort of the goal of this, is that it's a desire in our heart, even if it doesn't seem realistic. That's what we're doing. Who are you? Okay, so here's some categories. We'll start with this one. So vision and values. What does my ideal life look like in 5, 10, or 20 years? What values are most important to me? And how do they influence my goals? And then what legacy do I want to leave behind? Like, don't get overwhelmed with it. Just like immediately what comes to your mind, what do you want to be remembered for?
Like we write this after we write who we currently are in ChatGPT.
So that prompt at the beginning, the describe, sorry, I'll go back. We write this, tell me a story of the day in my life, right? And then we write just a few things about who we are, like the basic stuff, like I'm a mom of two and I work in whatever. Just some like identifiers. If ChatGPT doesn't know who you are, then that's helpful. Like, does that make sense? It's not necessarily your dreams or your goals, it's just your reality of who you are.
Okay. And
So,
then move on to the last piece.
and then we're adding in these questions.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just
Thank
going to be like one long continuous paragraph. It doesn't even have to be like flow or make sense. Like just say, I value wholeheartedness and authenticity and whatever your values are, or whatever comes to mind. Okay, there are several more categories. Do you want me to move on? You guys feel good with this category? Okay, personal development. I'm just going to let you guys read it because that may be better than me trying to read them to you. Something else that I forgot to mention at the beginning is I did write a few things about like I wanted this story to be told in the timeline where my girls are still small, like my girls are still young. So I say that like I'm still young, my kids are still young. You know, I even said my husband is retired from teaching and he's about to publish his first book. Like I put some of those things in about the people in my life too that I want to be a part of my story. If that makes sense. Guys ready? The next one is career and professional life. Okay. Next. You good? Okay. Relationships and community. Okay. You guys feel good about that? Or have some things? Okay. Health and well-being. You feel good about that one? You need some more time? Maybe? No?
No.
Okay. Adventure and experience. This one's fun for me.
It's gonna be one heck of a day.
Okay. Ready? Okay. Financial goals. Okay, how does that feel? Feel good? Okay, reflection and adaptation. The answer to this one is therapy. I will face it with therapy. Okay. Am I feeling good about that one? A little more time? No? Good. Okay. So now we are going to paste that into ChatGPT with the prompt at the beginning. Let me go back. Tell me a story of a day in the life as my future self based on this description. And then all of this stuff. I wrote it like, I don't, you guys may want to take a minute to tweak it. Like I wrote it like very present tense, like I am these things, I want to be this, I want to do that. So that's how I started it. Okay, and then pop it into ChatGPT, push enter, and then read what it says.
Mine just gave me 3 sentences back. Does that sound right, or is there more coming? Do you know?
Oh, is that what your guys's did? No, mine's
You
very
read the
long.
book.
Mine's
Yours is
very
book?
long.
I
Yeah,
expected mine. I expected mine too, because mine is like super long. But this
Yeah.
is all I have, is this paragraph.
Oh, yeah, I'm still reading.
And so you did the
Yeah.
tell me a story of a day.
Yeah, with all this.
The title of mine is The Diamond Gigi.
Oh, Diamond Gigi. I love it.
Diamond Gigi.
I don't think mine got a title. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Mine doesn't either.
mine doesn't have a title, but it's very long. This is a new one. I'm gonna read it. Or did you give it details? Like, did you write it like it would be a story? Does that make sense? Like, I am this type of person and I do strange.
I figured out how to prioritize my families, making lots our values, making lots of time for family, being present with my moments. I mean,
And you use the tell me a story of the day in my life as a future self based on this
tell me
description.
the story of a day in the life as my future self based on this description.
What in the world? That's so strange. Try it again.
Okay.
Try again. Give me a better story. Like that's what, yeah.
It is, It's like the sun peeks through the blinds as you wake up. The soft hum of your alarm reminding you it's time to start the day. You
Yeah.
slip out of bed, glancing at your husband who's peacefully asleep, and head to your home office. This is the time you'll dive into work, and then it stops.
It stopped?
My day doesn't last very long.
Probably want you to pay the higher price for the Chat GPT.
Oh, mine's free, man.
Mine is too.
I would just type in, give me more detail. Like, tell me about the rest of my day.
I feel like it glitched, Lauren.
Yeah, I hope that
'Cause
doesn't.
mine is super long too, and mine starts out the same.
Okay.
The morning
does it?
sunlight gently filters through the windows in your spacious, sun-drenched home.
I want to do more than wake up. I want to get out of bed and do stuff. I'm asking for more detail. It's writing something.
Yeah,
else.
and mine says you stir awake and your husband's soft breathing next to you, more like a freight
Our
train.
husband's in bed. Maybe our husband's we should put
Oh,
it.
in my first one, it made me tear up because it was like the sun comes through your window, and I'm like, well, it definitely does that. And like, it is one of my favorite things. And then your husband is already up before you, and he's finishing the last chapters of his book on his laptop. And I'm like, that's totally believable. Anyway,
I need my husband doing dishes at 7:30 a.m. Okay.
Oh boy, I wrote something in here about my dad passing and I just read it. Wow, this is really, really cool. Mine's really long.
that was mine. I'm still reading through it.
Mm.
So for me, as someone who is like not a futuristic thinker, like that's not my natural, um, like I don't have that natural ability. My husband does. He can like, he'll just say, "Hey, I just had this mental image of our girls being grown," and I'm like, "Who does that?" Like I just can't think about the future. Like it doesn't exist to me. I'm a very present focused person, and so reading through this, it was like kind of made it real for me. Like the thought of like, and it felt so good. Like it was like an overwhelming good feeling of knowing this is what it's going to look like if I stick to my goals and values and what I want for our life and what it could look like. So, were yours what did I want to hear your honest answers? What did you think? Lauren, did you get a longer story? Oh, you're muted. I didn't hear you because you're muted.
Yes, I did. I asked it again to please give me another day based on the description above, and it sent me something much longer. And
Okay,
it's like, now, yes.
good. So, what'd you guys think?
Like vision casting on steroids.
Sounds like a great day.
Yeah.
I don't know how there'd be enough time in the day for all that, but sounds like a great day.
You've got people that help you get things done.
Yeah, as I retreat to my painting studio to meditate and paint and then have a quiet dinner with my husband after my grandkids have been there all day.
Hey, that is a lot. Who else? Did you like the vision that it gave you?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, I was telling the people who got on first, like the first one I read, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know that it was gonna hit me in all the feels like it did, but I cried when I first read my first one, and then I lost it, and that was sad. But I don't know, just the clear vision of things that I've always desired for myself, seeing it all written out as something that's possible and real and like happening. It's the neuropathway stuff, right? Like being able to envision it allows it to be possible in our brain so that we can work toward it. Um, anyway, anybody else?
No, just thank you for this. This is very, very neat.
Mhm.
I'm glad you liked it. Do you want to share yours, Kim, or do you the part that you were saying meant so much to you?
Oh, where is that now? Let's see where it is. It says, oh, this is like paragraph 6 or 7 or something. It says, this evening, as the sun sets, Kim sits on her porch overlooking the water, sipping tea, reflecting on the day. She thinks of her dad who passed at 82 and the way he shaped her strength and her resilience. His memory is always here, especially in the moments like this when the world is still and she feels the presence and the guidance and the love.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, it's neat.
I love that. Um, Lauren, you'll find this interesting. The first one, I did not put it in there. There was nothing in my description, but it was like, you're homeschooling your children. And I was like, oh, am I?
That aligns with your values.
Oh, it must. Something about, I think in the first one I put like that my husband and I we teach abroad, anytime we want to or something like that. So obviously if we're teaching abroad with our children, we're going to be homeschooling them. So it put 2 and 2 together that I hadn't in my brain yet. So but I mean that makes sense.
Yeah, I liked what mine said. I included something about homeschooling in here, and it's funny, I didn't really give it that much detail other than that I was homeschooling and I was good with my time management. And anyways, the things it said about homeschool, though I didn't tell it, are exactly like what I love about homeschool and look forward to as far as the way my child learns. And anyways,
Cool.
that was kind of cool.
I like that.
I
It also-
really like this. Oh, go ahead, Lauren.
You go, Julia.
No. I was going to
Oh.
kind of change the subject. Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying too, like it has me getting up at 5:30 a.m. and which I need to do probably to get stuff done before Madison is awake. But it talks about like how accomplished you feel by 8 a.m., how you've hit your work goals for the day, how I've hit my work goals for the day, and like how good that feels, which is true. Like I feel so good when I have knocked out my goals for the day when it comes to work. I don't know. And I always end up working at night because it gets pushed off. So I'm like, yeah, I guess I should try to set my alarm for 5:30 a.m.
Interesting. What about you, Julia?
That's funny. I giggled when it told me I woke up early too.
Yeah, the first time I did it, it didn't say anything about that, but this one it was like you wake up before the sun. I'm like, never in my life. So
Because we just gave it a whole list of things we got to get done in one day. So.
never. Oh, that's funny.
I go ahead, sorry.
Nope, you're good.
At the end, I put what habits and goals should I set for today to get there? And I really liked how it took everything that my future self, and it gave me a really good list of what I need to do for today. So I really liked that.
Okay, so that's
was cool.
actually the next prompt. Like
Oh, sorry.
basically, no, that's awesome. So you can put in give me goals or whatever, but the prompt that I saw was create a daily schedule for me to follow that will allow me to achieve this. And it will give you some stuff. Actually, I'm going to do that because I didn't get to do that on my first one. Let's see what it says.
Also, there is a limit, just heads up on how many you can put in. I don't know if y'all, I hit that the other day playing around with this.
That's why I like that this is all condensed into like a couple questions, because you do eventually run out if you're asking it a few questions at a time, but like one big bulk one, usually. I haven't ran out yet, but I haven't been asking a bunch of questions.
Is it a limit in one day?
Yes.
Mhm. It's a
Okay.
daily limit and it restarts, yeah, the next day.
Mhm.
It is crazy how good this is, like how accurate. I typed that in, Julia, and then I'm going to go in and ask for a schedule afterwards. But I mean, it told me one, prioritize your health and fitness, and it tells me what to do, which is exactly what I want to be doing at the gym. Then morning routine with spiritual growth and productivity. The number 3 is time management and systems building. Number 4, homeschool with intention. 5, strengthen your marriage. 6, travel and adventure. 7, create a welcoming home. 8, delegate and seek support. 9, financial management and blessings to others. 10, protect your boundaries. And then it gave me monthly and quarterly reflections.
Oh,
That's awesome. Mine's still spitting out an exact schedule for me.
Okay, I'm gonna tell. So you say give me a schedule
Create
based on
create a daily schedule for me to follow that will allow me to achieve this. Oh, this is fun.
This is so funny because today I Googled how do you how do you make a schedule that you can accomplish during the day with an ADHD brain? This thing is really gonna help me.
Oh, that's awesome.
This is awesome.
Honey, are you sipping on that thing you said you're gonna be sipping on to talk to us about?
I
Okay.
actually sipped it all. It's all sipped.
Fine.
Are
Okay.
you ready for bed?
Maybe I should stop this recording.
Sorry.
Oh,
Were you done?